Welcome to the instructional video on how to install and troubleshoot the Anaconda digital lock. We will address many of the issues we have come across and how to fix them. The first thing to do once you've removed the old lock is to check and make sure the bore hole is big enough to accommodate the deadbolt. If it is hitting the back of the inside of the bore hole, you may have to drill out the back to help it fit. If the deadbolt seems too short to fit inside correctly, you can extend the deadbolt. Next, you want to make sure to drill some screw holes in the door. If you skip this, you run the risk of stripping the screws when you put them in. Next, put in the deadbolt and make sure the indicator arrow is pointing up. Then screw the deadbolt into place. Check the deadbolt and make sure it moves without resistance and without getting stuck. Next is the faceplate. Insert the wire ribbon over the deadbolt and through the hole. Then screw in the faceplate in the pre-drilled screw holes. Next, take the front lock mechanism and insert it into the deadbolt. Make sure the tailpiece is inserted vertically and not horizontally. On the inside of the door, place the interior mounting plate on and slide the tailpiece of the front lock mechanism through the middle hole. Secure with 2 long machine screws. After screwing in these screws, check the deadbolt to see if it still moves freely without resistance or getting stuck. If it does seem hard to turn or get stuck, loosen the long machine screws and/or the deadbolt screws. This will relieve a majority of the problems. Once you have determined that the deadbolt moves freely, move on to the interior electronic lock mechanism. First, plug the wire ribbon into the 7-pin terminal at the bottom of the electronic board. Making sure the wire ribbon is not pinched or caught, line up the back plate and slide onto the tailpiece of the front lock mechanism. Make sure the lock moves freely without resistance or getting stuck. Then secure with wood screws supplied with the lock. Next, install 4 AA batteries. After installing, place a piece of duct tape over the batteries and metal casing. This is to ensure that the batteries do not fall out or become loose when the door is shut. Next, we will program the lock codes. There are 2 ways you need to code the digital lock. First, push 00 on the front keypad, followed by the white button on the back electronic board. Then enter the last 4 digits of your property ID, followed by the unlock button. Second, push the white button on the back of the electronic board. Then enter the last 4 digits of your property ID and hit the unlock button. Now, test the code to make sure it works properly. Once you have determined the code is set properly, install the back cover and screw into place. Make sure the lock functions correctly. Now place the AltaSource sticker on the outside of the door and lock the property. Now we will talk about some potential problems and their causes. If the lock makes a grinding noise and does not open, this is usually caused by tension put on the lock by the door. Pull the door towards you and enter the code, then push unlock. If the lock grinds and doesn't lock all the way, this is caused when the screws are too tight. Loosen the screws on the mounting plate and the deadbolt until the deadbolt moves freely. If the lock makes a grinding sound but does not extend, you must switch the polarity on the lock. Locate the white and yellow wires leading to a plug on the back of the circuit board. Remove, then turn, then replace the plug, and check the lock again. Thank you for watching the instructional video on how to install and troubleshoot the Anaconda digital lock.